Hello everyone, my name is Smithy and welcome back to another episode of Runescape for Dummies. Today we are going to be going through Kril, otherwise known as Zammy, and we're going to be going through the best method for taking down Kril and getting some decent kills per trip and overall having a little bit of a chilled time there. Now there are a few different methods that you can do, one being the altar door, which is, if you've seen my Bandos guide you might be familiar with, or any of my recent Bandos adventures on the Iron Man progression series. The altar door is a option there, as you can run between the door and the altar, hence the name. It's slightly more difficult than the Bandos run. The run is a little bit shorter. Your timings are a little bit different. But that's one option. The other option is the step under method, where you use melee, you hit twice, step under, wait for an attack, hit twice, step under, etc., etc. But today we're going to be going through the most reclined fight of your existence. This is the Scorching Bow Lightbearer method, and as you can probably tell by the name of it, there's two items that you need. So inventory-wise, we are going to need the Scorching Bow, which if you don't know what that is, you need to get a Tormented Synapse from Tormented Demons, and then use that with a magic longbow unstrung, and then you get a Scorching Bow, and then the Lightbearer from TOA, or if you're a main account, you just buy everything. You'd buy all of the above. But those are the two things that you're going to need. I like to bring some tanky range armor. Fortified Missouri would be an upgrade from this, but you could use God D-Hide for your prayer bonus or anything like that. Then I've just got my Assembler, an Anguish necklace. You could use a Fury. That's not a problem. And I've got Dragon Arrows just for extra DPS. You can use Rune or Amethyst, for example. We are going to be doing this on task. Now, I highly recommend doing this on a Slayer task because you are going to get that bonus DPS. You can do it off task, of course, but you would need to wear a different ranged boosted helmet accordingly, pretty much. But yeah, we're using the Slayer helm. Then I have my Zamorak D-High boots for my Zammy item, because you will still need a Zammy item. Then I've got Barrow's gloves and obviously the Lightbearer. Now my inventory, this is a bit in work in progress because I am technically still learning how to do the method. In a sense of I know how the method works, I know how to do it. It's more my inventory management that I'm working on. So I would normally bring a anti-venom. I'm going to try an antidote as well. In the clip that you'll see when I'm actually doing the KCs, I'll have an anti-venom just to FYI. But you don't really need it. It's more of a backup plan just in case you run out of specs and you do get hit, because you will get poisoned. So it's good to have one. And an anti-venom's, you're not getting venom, so you don't really need to worry about that. The reason why I say that this is a work in progress, because I'm still trying to work out what is the best balance of food to superstores, because it really does depend on the drops that you're getting from Kril, the drops that you're getting from the minions, because Kril can drop superstores, the minions can drop food. You've got your options there of, playing it by ear. I did start off with just bringing 6 superstores and a bit more food when I was starting to learn. That might be a good option for yourself if you are new to the method, but you will quickly be able to progress on from that and bring in this case, I've got 8 superstores. Obviously, recommend bringing a ranging pot. I wouldn't bring a divine because it does reduce your health, and it doesn't last as long. You do get the higher level boost for the shorter amount of time, but I prefer bringing a normal ranging pot. We've got ourselves an Ancient Scepter, Virtus Robe Top, and an Occult Necklace. Now, you could scale that down to like Arims, for example. We're going to be using blood spells in between fights to heal up on the healers. Not on the healers, sorry, on the minions. Technically, they are healers because they're healing me. So we are going to be using a Ancient Scepter, or you could use an Ancient Staff, for example, just for the auto casting and the little buff. You're going to want to bring like 3 mage switches just to get that boost of mage attack, because they are a little bit. I don't want to say they've got high defense to magic, from what I believe. Recommend bringing 3 items. Yeah, so that's what those 3 are. We're going to be using blood spells, which means in our rune pouch we have blood spells. I'm also going to say you're going to need ice barrage as well, or some sort of ice, like ice blitz would work as well, because essentially you want to freeze the ranger and the melee. You'll see this in the clips, by the way. You want to freeze the ranger and the melee on the same tile, so you can then use your blood spells to be a bit more efficient, a bit quicker on your killing of the minions. So that's the reason why we've got those. Like I said, you could bring Ice Blitz if your magic isn't 94. And then we've got our Explorer's Ring. You're not going to need the run energy portion of it that you might need at Bandos, but the alchemy option on it is very nice because we're not going to be on the normal spellbook. We want to keep our inventory clear to be picking up food, picking up super restores, not filling it up with drops. Anything that is alchable, we're alching, keeping in our coins. Then we've got our Gommel's Hilt, which we're going to be using to actually get to Godbore's Dungeon. We've got some house teleports as well. And like I said, we've got our rune pouch. So that is our inventory and our gear. I think it's time that we go there and get the job done. So like I said, we've got our Gommel's Hilt. You could use the Trollheim teleport. You're probably going to need tabs for that, because if you are going to be using the Ancient Spellbook, you're not going to be able to cast the spell. So the Trollheim teleport will drop you off up here, and then you need to run down around the mountain, and you need to pray range when you're running around this section because of the trolls throwing rocks at you. But you just work your way down through the agility shortcuts. But that's one option. We're going to be using the hill, which you just click and whooshoom, chops you here. Then you come through, you either push the boulder, you either climb through the crack. When you run through here, we're going to run on through. And as we're running on through and we get to around this area, we're going to pray melee because the walls do hit. We're going to come through. We're going to run directly north pretty quickly because everything's going to start attacking us. And we are going to potentially start getting some KCs. Now, you want to stay this right-hand side of this little plinth or little bit here because the bandos monsters will attack you. What is quite nice is if you're up here, yeah, they're high-level monsters, but it's actually kind of quicker to get your KCs because you've got the bandos gang helping you out. So you can start taking out. Bang, see, it's already nearly dead. So there you go, the quick KC. But imps are really what you want to focus on. It helps if you do highlight them as well. But I'd say maybe get half your KCs up here. If you want to get them all up here, cool. And then you want to climb off this ice bridge here, jump down. Whee! And when you come down here, if you've not, I can't remember what the quest is. But if there is a quest, your stats will all drop. So bringing super restores is handy because it will bring those back up. With my number of prayer or my prayer level, I need to take 3 sips of super restore. You'd restore back up. Happy days. You're ready to go. I see someone's down here getting their KCs. But on these 4 tiles are where all of the imps spawn. You're going to want to get your KCs. For me, it's 35 because of my combat achievements level on the hard tier. But if you're lower, you probably need 40. So in here, you kill the imps. I'll wait for them to spawn. I'm going to quickly yoink one off of this guy. Actually, you know what? I'm going to be a nice guy. I'm going to hot world. All right, I'm going to hop. Don't be that guy. I'm going to hop. I'm going to hop over. See the imps. Bang. Kill the imps. Ha 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 ha. So for me, I'm getting 35. If you're not on the hard tier of the combats, you're getting 40, I believe. Yeah, I think it's 40. But anyway, I'm going to restore up as well, just because why not? But anyway, I'm going to get my KCs, and then we're going to be going and getting our trip done. So see you in the next clip. All right, so before we go in, we're over by the door. We've got our KCs, and we've checked our fire, ancient brazier. It's not lit. No one's in there. We want to pot up. So hit your ranging pot. Turn on protect range. Either rigger or eagle eye, whatever your best in slot is. And then turn on your spec. So when we walk in, we're going to spec Kril instantly. It's like 4. I'll count it out when we're doing the kill, but it's like 4 hits, spec, 4 hits, spec is what I find is easiest. And you want to keep your distance as well, just in case. So let's do it. So you can go in the private. That will cost you 150k. It does give you extended trips, but I am yapping and wasting prayers. So let's go in, hit Kril with a spec, and then we want to get moving. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you'll hit it with a spec again. See, we leave a bit of wiggle room. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that should be the kill. There we go. There's your first KC. Done and dusted. And we got, wow, loot path. So now I'm going to take out the major. I'm going to keep praying range, take out the major. And then we're going to kind of bunch the melee and the ranger up together so we can then use them to heal. Even though we don't really have much to heal, it makes them quicker as well when you're using your blood spurs. But you will take a bit of damage here because you're essentially opening yourself to being attacked by the major and the melee at the moment. So we're going to step onto this tile here. They do get a little bit janky. You got to try and get them onto the same tile. Switch to your mage gear. Turn on Mystic Might or whatever. Use your freeze. Then step away. And I've got auto cast as Blood Barrage. Start healing up. We're also going to need to sip a prayer pot, or restore in my case, just so we don't get absolutely clattered by the ranger. But don't forget, freezes only last so long. The melee will start waltzing towards you like so, and you can either tank it or pop another freeze, but they're dead anyway. So because it's our first KC and we've only just come in here, our timer on our Zammy altar is 0. So we can pray, don't have to use any resources, quickly grab your loot. I'm going to quickly grab them, and then we're going to run to this tile over here. I'm going to turn on my prayers, quickly switch back, turn my spec on, wait for Kril to spawn over here, hit him with the spec, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, spec, and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, spec, and that should be another kill. Easy peasy. Same again. You can see now that we've got the rune scimitar, lovely. See, we've got the melee over here now because we've been standing on this tile. We just wiggle them around so we can get them bunched up and heal off them again. If needed, you've got food for a reason. The minions do actually drop a nice amount of food as well. Let's step over here, go through the ranger, get the melee on the same tile, and we go again. Freeze them, step away, and then start healing up. Now, if you're not on Slayer task, I have found that you can run out of spec. Even though you've got the Lightbearer, it does recharge pretty quick, but you might find that sometimes you've only got 5 spec left, it replenishes to 15, and it's spec time. What I like to do is, let me quickly, when I'm standing on this tile, when I know that I'm about to run out of spec, I can see that I've only got 5, it means I'm not going to have enough to hit a spec again. I like to stand here and slowly move my way around to get away from Kril. By the time that you've moved up and it's kind of got maybe 2 hits into where you would have specced again, but you haven't got the spec, you can kind of get to around this area over here that you can spec again, freeze them in place, and you're kind of good to go again. But at that point, you probably would have done enough damage. Kril is on the ropes, so to speak, and you can get the job done. There's a reason we bring food. It's for crisis situations like that. I've also lost count of how many I've done, so let's spec again. The reason why you got food, reason why you got blood spells to heal up after. You don't want to get yourself kind of boxed because he can hit for I think he can hit for like a 60 or something like that. But what I would be doing, see he's coming towards, I would slowly move up this way. Kril would start walking around. You kind of want to hug the wall a bit as well. And then you'll get to about here. You can spec again with the time taken for the Lightbearer to recharge your spec. And you can go again. It's happy days. You don't need to panic. Just position yourself that you're not going to be within punching distance. You know what? I'll show you it on the next kill so you can see what I mean. I'll purposely not spec, and then we'll move to adjust and keep Kril at an arm's length. And to keep your inventory kind of nice and tidy. Oh, let me grab my coins. Don't forget you got your Explorer's Ring, Cast Alchemy. Just make sure you close it off so you don't accidentally alch any of your actual gear. But Kril is coming back. Let's turn our prayers on. It's handy if you set up your quick prayers as well to be range and you're attacking. So we spec. So let's...
Sorry, I didn't find a group or
Alexa, stop. So we'll get to here. Right, the spec again. And now we're thinking, all right, we've not got any spec. Let's imagine we've got 5. Let's move over here. Attack. Move over here. Attack. And then move over here. Kril start coming towards you. At this point, you probably get to around here and your specs come back. Hit him with a spec again. Freeze him in place. And you should have maneuvered yourself in a way that you're not going to get hit. You give yourself enough time. You realise that your spec is running on empty. And, just start moving yourself. What's the word? What is it? React? Pro. You know what I mean. Pre-plan rather than react. Proactive rather than reactive. That's what I'm thinking. Jeez, imagine being able to talk. You wanna make sure that you're moving yourself around if you think you're gonna run out of spec. But if you're on task, your DPS is so much higher compared to off task that you should be okay. You wouldn't get yourself into that situation. But just in case you want to do this off task, which is completely fine, there's some measures you can take to make sure you don't get sent back to Lumbridge. And obviously, I know there are multiple methods that you can use for Kril. Like, you can see in this room alone that I've got like the altar door on there, and you can do the step under method as well, which does actually work quite well. It depends on your gear, on how many KC you can get per trip. I think when I was doing step under with just like an Emberlight, I was getting maybe about 3 or 4 kills a trip. But with this method, you're getting the world's your oyster. Depends on your resources and depends on drops as well. Because Kril does drop super restores, which means you can extend your trips out a bit. Stay here for like 20 odd kills, 30 kills maybe. Again, depending on your gear setup. Like, I'm not in full maxed gear. I'm just running K'rils at the moment. You could wear like Fortified Missouri, which I'm sure I've mentioned in the gear overview section. You can extend out your trips with this method, it's pretty reclined. Like, for most of the time I've spent here, I've been watching The Walking Dead, so not really focusing, just making sure that I count the 4 attacks and then hit with a spec, and we're good to go. But thank you so much for watching. If you are new around here and you found the video helpful, by all means, a subscription would be much appreciated. I do a lot of Iron Man content and other guides on all sorts of bosses and skilling and all sorts of stuff around Gielinor. So if that tickles your fancy, why not hit subscribe? Drop a like as well, as it helps with the algorithm. And let me know how you get on with your KCs in the comments. All right, thanks for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.